This is IDS 110, Chapter 11, Developing Library, Research, and Literacy Information Skills. Student Profile, Annalie Rosero. Annalie grew up in a small town in Puerto Rico where she completed high school and a certificate program in medical office billing and coding. After working for a few years, Annalie decided that she wanted a career change and that a degree in criminal justice would be what she needed to achieve her ultimate goal to join the FBI as a behavior analyst. Ocean County College in New Jersey had everything she wanted, including a good library system. Annalie works about 25 hours a week at a before and after school program, and she has had to develop strategies to help her write well-researched papers. In high school, she did not learn how important it is to avoid plagiarism, but her college experience stressed that. In college, she has been taught to use her critical thinking skills, research her work, and cite as many sources as possible. Annalie wants other students to know to start researching the topic you will write about as soon as possible. Developing the skills to locate, analyze, and use information will significantly enhance your ability to keep up with what is going on in the world, to participate in activities that interest you, and to succeed in college, career, and community. Information literacy. We now live in the information age, a name that was created to signify the importance of information in today's economy and our lives. Most of the global workforce is employed in one way or another in creating, managing, or transferring information. The gross national product of the United States is substantially information-based. Retrieving information, being able to manage it, and to sort it out for what is important is quite the challenge. Sorting is the process of sifting through available information and selecting what is most relevant. Information literacy, simply put, is the ability to find, interpret, and use information to meet your needs. Information literacy has many facets. Computer literacy, which is facility with electronic tools, both for conducting inquiries and to present information to others. Media literacy, the ability to think critically about material distributed through television, film, radio, advertising, books, magazines, and the Internet. And cultural literacy, knowing what has gone on and is going on around you to understand everyday conversation. For example, we need to know the difference between U2 and YouTube, M&M and M&Ms. Learning to be information literate. Many people confuse mounds of information with knowledge and conclude that they are informed or can easily become informed. Most of us are unprepared for the huge volume of information available and must learn to overcome information overload. To become an informed and successful user of information, keep three basic goals in mind. Number 1, know how to find the information you need to make an educated search of information systems such as the Internet, libraries, and databases. Librarians are great resources of information. Know your librarians and ask them to show you how to maximize the resources available. Number 2, learn how to interpret the information you find. What does this information mean? Is the source reliable? Is the information true and accurate? Number 3, have a purpose. What do you want to accomplish with this information? How will the information be used? It may be simply for personal satisfaction, or it may be to communicate to others in the form of a research paper, proposal for the boss, or presentation at a hearing. What's research and what's not? Retrieving information, while an essential element of research, is not an end in itself, nor is research a matter of copying passages or finding a handful of sources and patching together bits and pieces without commentary. In fact, this behavior could easily slip into plagiarism, the act of taking another person's ideas or work and presenting it as your own. This gross academic conduct can result in suspension or expulsion, and even revocation of the violator's college degree. Good research is information literacy in action: selecting a topic, gathering sources, finding appropriate content, interpreting the content, and formulating a coherent arrangement that you present in your own words is research. Employing information literacy skills. Best practices for the information literate student per the Association of College and Research Libraries includes to determine the nature and extent of the information needed. In general, this involves first defining and articulating what information you need, then identifying a variety of potential sources. accessing the information effectively and efficiently. Select appropriate research methods, use well-designed research strategies, refine those strategies along the way, and keep detailed notes or note cards on where you find information. Evaluate the information and its sources critically. You will learn to apply the usefulness and reliability of both information and its sources. You will also become skillful at summarizing the main ideas presented by an author and comparing new information to what you already know. Incorporate information into your knowledge base and value system. You will evaluate information for what is new, unique, or contradictory, and consider whether it has any impact on what is important to you. You will combine elements of different ideas to construct new concepts as you validate, understand, or interpret information through talking with other people. Use the information effectively to accomplish a specific purpose. You will use information to plan, create a particular product or performance, to revise the development process as needed, and to communicate the results to others. Access and use information ethically and legally. There are economic, legal, and social issues surrounding the retrieval and use of information. You must learn and follow laws regarding institutional policies and etiquette related to copyright and intellectual property. Choosing, narrowing, and researching a topic. After being assigned a topic, get an overview of it. Once you have gained some basic information about the topic, decide what aspects of the subject you want to pursue. What you want is a dozen or so focused, highly relevant hits on an aspect of the topic that you can fashion into a coherent, well-organized essay. Begin by assessing what you already know about the topic and what you would like to know more about. Using the library. Whatever research you have to do, whether for a class, your job, or your personal life, visit a library. Every library has books and journals as well as a great number of items in electronic databases that are not available on public websites. Most libraries also have several other types of collections, such as government documents, microfilm, rare books, manuscripts, dissertations, fine art, photographs, historical documents, maps, music, and films, including archival and documentary productions. Taking advantage of everything your library has to offer. The library is far more than a document warehouse. Most campus libraries have websites that offer lots of help for students. Some provide guidelines for writing research papers, conducting online searches, or navigating the stacks of information that you gather. All libraries provide invaluable services to students and faculty members, including virtual spaces for accessing library holdings in the web, physical spaces where you can study in quiet or meet with other students, and perhaps even social and entertainment programs. Libraries also have interlibrary loans so that they may share library holdings with one another. You can expect to receive the materials in a few days once they are requested. Of all the resources available in the library, the most useful and often the least used are the people who staff it. Librarians thrive on helping you. Librarians are information experts who are trained to assist and guide you to the resources you need. You can have a live chat with the librarian, make an appointment for a tutorial or consultation, or visit the reference desk for assistance. The information professionals at your library are authorities on how to find information. Most important, they not only know where to find it, but they also have a wonderful ability to help you use information to meet your needs, solve problems, provide explanations, open up new possibilities, and ultimately create new knowledge. Electronic resources. Online catalogs, periodical databases, and the World Wide Web allow you to quickly and easily locate materials in the vast universe of information. Library catalogs, the card catalogs that were once common in libraries, have been replaced by OPAC, online public access catalogs. These electronic catalogs tell you what books, magazines, newspapers, videos, and other materials are available in a particular library. They might also have abstracts of the items presented, tables of contents, and related search items. Typically, there is an identifying number that tells you where to find this information. The catalog may tell you if the item is checked out, allow you to put it on hold, or give you the option of requesting it through an interlibrary loan. The simplest way to search for a topic is by keyword. You might also search by subject, author, title, date, or a combination of those elements. Each system has its own preferences, so spend a little time learning this. Periodical databases is a library catalog helps you search for books and the titles of magazines and journals owned by your particular library. By contrast, periodical databases let you find articles published in hundreds of newspapers, magazines, and scholarly journals. Some databases provide a full-text copy of the article, some give you information to find the physical copy in the library, and others allow you to request it through interlibrary loan. Subscription services such as EBSCOhost, LexisNexis, and Gale Research compile and maintain periodical databases. These are not free to the general public and must be accessed through a library. Ask at the circulation desk for a barcode number and PIN, which will allow you to access your library's databases from remote terminals. Most libraries subscribe to multiple databases and subdivide them by broad general categories. Databases have their own specialties and different strengths, so you want to select the best one for your particular subject or topic. Remember, the librarian can help you select the best database for your needs. The World Wide Web. Searching the web is a totally different story. The material retrieved by Googling is an aggregation of information, opinion, and sales pitches from the vast universe of servers around the globe. Anybody can put up a website, which means you can't be sure the website's credibility and reliability. The sources you find on the web might be written by anyone, a fifth grader, a distinguished professor, a professional society, or a biased advocate. Most searches of catalogs and databases are done by using keywords. Other systems permit searching of phrases. Some systems allow a natural language search where you may type in a question or type a sentence that describes what you are looking for. Be careful to choose search items that are relevant to your investigation. To become a successful and savvy user of electronic resources, follow these guidelines. Consult the Help or Frequently Asked Questions link the first time you use any catalog, database, or search engine to learn specific searching techniques. Write out your topic or problem in a statement or question. Doing so will help you identify potential useful keywords. Understand Boolean operators. Boolean operators are the words and, or, and not. The book's example is from the Bowling Green State University Library website and uses the term rock and roll. Write down several items or synonyms for your topic so that if one search does not yield any useful hits, you may back up items that might. It is good to use more than one database for the search, as they may pull up very different information. Limit your search. You can often limit a search by date, language, journal name, full text, or words and title. If you still get too many hits, add more search terms. Expand your search. If you get too few hits, omit a search term. You can also truncate a word by using an asterisk to retrieve broader results. For example, lobby, asterisk, will search for lobby, lobbying, lobbyist, and lobbyist. Learn the quirks of the databases or search engines you use often. Some yield better results from Boolean operators. Others are more attuned to natural language searches. Check your library's electronic resources page to see what is available online. And most libraries have links to other commonly electronic reference tools such as encyclopedias, dictionaries, almanacs, style guides, biographical and statistical resources, and news sources. It's easy to assume that huge amounts of available information automatically provides knowledge. Some students are at first excited with a lot of hits from a Google search, only to feel shocked when they realize the results are totally unsorted. Think critically about the usefulness of potential sources by measuring them against three important criteria: relevance, authority, and bias. Relevance. The first thing to consider when looking at a possible source is how well it fits your needs. That in turn will be affected by the nature of your research and the kind of information you are seeking. Is it introductory? Introductory information is very basic and elementary. It neither assumes nor requires prior knowledge about the topic. Introductory information is useful when you are first learning about a topic. It's not as useful when drawing conclusions about a particular aspect of the subject. Is it definitional? Definitional information provides some descriptive details about a subject. It might introduce a topic to others or clarify the focus of your investigation. Is it analytical? Analytical information supplies and interprets data about origins, behaviors, differences, and uses. In most cases, analytical information is the kind you want. Is it comprehensive? The more detail, the better. Avoid unsubstantiated opinions and look instead for sources that consider the topic in depth and offer plenty of evidence to support their conclusions. Is it current? You should usually give preference to recent sources, although older ones can sometimes be useful. For example, if your subject is historical or the source is still cited by others in the field. Can you conclude anything from it? Use the "so what" test. How important is this information? Why does it matter to my project? Authority. Once you have determined that a source is relevant to your project, check that it was created by somebody who has the qualifications to write or speak on the subject. This too will depend on your subject and the nature of your inquiry. In most cases, you will want expert conclusions based on rigorous evidence. Make sure you can identify the author and be ready to explain why that author is a reliable source. Good qualifications might include academic degrees, institutional affiliation, an established record of researching and publishing on a topic, or personal experience with the subject. Be wary, on the other hand, of anonymous or commercial sources or those written by someone whose credibility is questionable. Understand as well whether your project calls for a scholarly publication, popular magazine, or both, and do you know the difference? Comparing and contrasting scholarly journals with popular magazines. A scholarly journal will have longer articles where popular magazines have shorter articles. A scholarly journal will have an in-depth information on the topic. A popular magazine will generally provide a broad overview. Scholarly journals are written by academic experts. Popular magazines are written by journalists or reporters. Scholarly journals are filled with graphs, tables, and charts, and popular magazines have photos of people and events. Scholarly journals are refereed or reviewed, and popular magazines have no rigid evaluation. Scholarly journals have formally documented in citations, and popular magazines are credited informally. Bias. There may be a heavy dose of bias or point of view within articles. A great source for keeping you informed about potential bias is Magazine for Libraries, which tells you about a periodical's editorial and political leanings. Some signs of bias indicate that you should avoid using a source. If you detect overly positive or overly harsh language, hints of an agenda, or a stubborn refusal to consider other points of view, think carefully about how well you can trust the information in a document. A note on Internet sources. Be especially cautious of material you find online. It is often difficult to tell where something on the Internet came from, who wrote it, and whether it's credible. Online versions of print magazines and journals have been usually checked out by editors. Information from academic and government websites, such as those with URLs that end in .edu or .gov, are generally but not always trustworthy. Making use of what you find. You've probably heard the saying, knowledge is power. When you retrieve, sort, interpret, analyze, and synthesize sources of information, you can produce a product that has power. Make it a point to do something with the results of your research, otherwise, why bother? Synthesizing information and ideas. Ultimately, the point of conducting research is that the process contributes to the development of new knowledge. Many students give a straightforward report summarizing what they found, and sometimes this is enough. More often, however, you will want to apply the information to ideas of your own. Essentially, what you are doing at this stage of any research project is processing information, an activity known as synthesis. Synthesis is the process of combining separate information and ideas to formulate a more complete understanding. By accepting some ideas, rejecting others, combining related concepts, assessing the implications, and pulling it all together, you will create new information and ideas that other people can use. Citing your sources. At some point you will present your findings. Whatever form your findings are in, you must give credit to your sources. Citing your sources serves many purposes. For one thing, acknowledging the information and ideas you borrow from other writers shows respect for their contributions. It also distinguishes between other writers' ideas and your own. Source citations document to your audience that you have based your conclusions on thoughtful consideration of good, reliable evidence. Source citations also provide a starting place for anyone who would like more information or is curious about how you reached your conclusions. Most important, citing your sources is the simplest way to avoid plagiarism. The particular requirements of source citation can get complicated, but it all boils down to two basic rules. As you write, just remember, if you use somebody else's exact words, you must give credit to that person. If you use somebody else's ideas, even if you use your own words to express those ideas, you must give that person credit. Your instructor will make you aware of how they want work cited. If you are not given guidelines, or you simply want to be sure you're doing it right, you can consult a handbook or writing style manual, such as the Modern Language Association MLA Handbook for Writers of Research Papers. About plagiarism. When information or ideas are put on paper, film, screen, or tape, they become intellectual property. Using those ideas without saying where you got them, even if you do this by mistake, is a form of theft and can cost you a grade, a course, a degree, or maybe even a career. For some students, plagiarism is an innocent mistake. For others, it is deliberate cheating. Although most cases of plagiarism are the result of misunderstanding or carelessness, be aware that "I didn't know" is not a valid excuse. Be sure to check your campus's definition of plagiarism, which you can find in the student handbook or course catalog. If you have any questions or doubts about what is and what isn't acceptable, ask. Checklist for success: developing research skills. Work to learn information literacy skills because you will be working in the information economy, which uses and produces information. Become comfortable in your campus library. Use it as a place to read, relax, study, or just be by yourself. Accept that research projects and papers are part of college life. Learn how to do them well. Modern professional life is one big research paper after another. Get to know your college librarians. They want to help you find the information you need. If possible, get to know one as your personal library consultant. Take courses early in college that require you to do research and use your library skills. Yes, they will demand more of you, but you will be thankful for these skills later. Learn as many new electronic sources as possible. You must learn to do research by more than using Google or Wikipedia. When you use the ideas of others, it is important to give them credit and then create your own unique synthesis and conclusions. Someday you will create intellectual property, and you will want others to give you credit for your ideas. Consider becoming an information professional librarian. The world as we know it is going to need more and more of them. Explore this as a potential occupation in your Student Services or Career Services office. And this is the end of Chapter 11, IDS 110.